Fiscalini Farmstead story started in 1914 when my great-grandfather immigrated from Switzerland to California to start a dairy farm. And today, almost over 100 years later, we are still a working dairy operation, and in the year 2000, we added our own cheese-making facility. So for about 20 years now, we've been making cheese here on site, and all of our cheeses are farmstead, meaning that they're made with only the milk from our cows. And we take great pride in that. It allows us to have control over the feed that they eat, and we have a veterinarian on site once a week. We have a nutritionist on site once a week. So the care of our animals is very important to us. And our herd is our cheese-making herd is made up of Holsteins, Jerseys, and Brown Swiss. So the variation of the type of cows helps to provide protein and butter fat for the cheese-making production. We make mostly cheddar cheeses. So our most famous cheese is our Old World aged cheddar, and that's what you see behind me here. And this is aged about 14 months, made in 60-pound wheels. We also make a hard Italian style cheese called Joaquin Gold, which was the first cheese we ever made. And then we make a Swiss style cheese called Lienza. And the rest of our cheddars are flavored, whether they're soaked in wine, soaked in beer, smoked, habanero. So just a lot of fun flavors when it comes to the cheddar category. So that's a little bit about the cheese making. And one thing that we do here is we recycle all of our waste and water to produce electricity. So all the waste is pumped into methane digesters, and with the help of an engine, the waste is converted to renewable energy. We produce electricity, and we're able to power our entire facility, plus we can sell back energy to the grid and power 300 neighboring homes. So that's really important to us. My great-grandfather, grandfather, father, the land, our animals, giving back to our community, being good stewards has always been ingrained in us, and that's something that we've always tried to continue to do and will continue to do, because we want future generations of Fiscalinis to have the same opportunities that we've had and be able to farm and continue producing cheese in a responsible way.
Hi, I'm Brian Fiscalini. We're here at Fiscalini Farms today. We milk 1,500 cows 3 times a day. We also have our own cheese-making operation on site, as well as a renewable energy project where we convert manure into electricity. So we're here at our dairy farm. We're a farmstead operation, which means that the cows are housed here at our facility, where we're able to take care of their nutrition, the milking process, all the aspects of animal husbandry and cow health, as well as within a few hundred feet, we have our cheese-making operation, where we take milk 3 times a day from our cows. We put it into a tank, and we drive it a very short distance where it's at its freshest possible state, and then we start the cheese-making process right here on our farm.
I'm Alex Borgo. I'm a 4th-generation cheesemaker, so I actually come from a history of cheesemakers going back to Italy and Toronto, Canada. And I had this opportunity about 2 years ago to join the Fiscalini, so it's also a 4th generation. You know, it was a good combo. Like, it was a good fit for me to come here. With my history of cheese makings, from Italian-style cheeses to fresh cheeses, to join somebody like a family that has a history of in the cheddars and stuff. To bring my experiences with, you know, they've been making cheese for 20 years. It's just a perfect combination. So we get 3,000 gallons of milk every day, 5 days a week, fresh in the morning from the farm. We have a 2,000 gallon vat and a 1,000 gallon vat. We do about 70% pasteurized, 30% raw milk cheeses throughout the year. With the pasteurized, we do plain cheddar, smoked cheddar, purple moon, and flavors like truffle, habanero, and craft beer. We do about 3,000 pounds a day. The milk will come in the morning. We will add our cultures into the vat, and then we add some rennet. The rennet will turn the milk into a jello. When it turns into a jello, we need to cut it into cheese curds. The cheese curds will separate the whey away from the cheese curds. We will agitate it. The The cheese curds will eventually settle to the bottom. We will remove the whey. Part of it goes back to the feed, and the rest will go into our methane digesters. And then from the cheese curds, we become a giant slab of cheese curds on the bottom that we cut into slabs. Part of the cheddaring process is we put these slabs on top of each other, up to 7 times to get rid of more whey. From that cheddaring, from the slabs, we will then put these slabs into a milling machine to get the actual cheese curds. Those cheese curds is when we either add the beer or our flavors, and then from there we put it into our metal hoops, and then they will get pressed overnight. And in the morning we will take them down, and then they go into the aging room. Our pasteurized cheeses will age about 30 days, and our raw cheeses will age from 6 months to about 14 months. So right now we're standing in the Old World Cheddar aging room. Right now during the aging we'll spend about 14 months in here. It will lose about 10 to 15% of its moisture. It's just part of the process. It'll get a little firmer, harder, and that's where it builds the more complexity flavors in this room. All these rooms, all our aging rooms are temperature and humidity controlled. So it'll sit here and we will go through every quarter. We'll inspect the cheese, see where it's at. Usually around a year, we will try to protect the cheese, so we'll break it down, probably cut it in half, and we will shrink wrap it. So you can see the inside of a cheese will be, we'll grab a nice cheese that is beautiful and ready to go and get ready to pack. Right now we're standing in the Old World Cheddar flipping room. The Old World Cheddar behind me, they average about 65 pounds each. We do about 30 wheels per production day, and we'll come into this room after our make day. We'll get flipped in here every second day for 60 days. The Old World Cheddar is a raw cheese, so for raw cheeses, by law, it has to be at least aged 60 days before you can consume it. But we use this room as a 60-day before it goes into long-term aging. This racking system is designed where you can flip 5 wheels at the same time with the handle on the locking system. And it will go into different stages. You can see different mold growing on the outside. It is protected. The Old World Cheddar is wrapped with a cloth, and then we protect it with a lard. And so these molds, they might look funky, but it's part of the process, and it'll be a really beautiful cheese on the inside. But that's where it gets all its complexity, flavors, and textures and stuff like that. In the early stages, especially when we flip it, it works on the moisture levels from top to bottom throughout the cheese. Because it's such a big wheel, we want to make sure it's consistent and the quality is always the same